How humans got high through history. The ultimate, mind-bending, gut-busting epic? Yo, if you've been vibing with me lately, you know I'm that dude who's always digging into the wild crap. Humans shove into their mouths, noses, and veins, obscure chemicals, weird plants, you name it. I'm usually pretty chill with my words, but YouTube's been smacking me with their rule book lately, so I'm trying to keep it semi-clean. Emphasis on trying. Anyway, I've mostly been ranting about modern highs, your vapes, your monster cans. I found this in my cousin's glove box, and now I hear colors moments. But let's hit rewind way back, because humans have been chasing that buzz since before we even figured out fire doesn't make a good pillow. In this beast of a tale, I'm dragging you through every time period. Some real, some I'm pulling out to my creative hat to uncover the most insane, hilarious, and downright trippy ways our ancestors got lifted. This is going to be long, it's going to be wild, and it's going to leave you questioning humanity's sanity. Buckle up, we're kicking off in the Stone Age, and it's about to get stupid. The Stone Age, cavemen, beer soup, and the Great Shroom Bash. Picture this. It's 12,000 BC, and you're Thog, a caveman with a unibrow thicker than a woolly mammoth's thigh. Life's a grind, your cave smells like wet dog. Your buddy Gronk keeps farting in his sleep, and the only fun is dodging saber-toothed tigers. No TikTok, no pizza delivery, just you and a pile of rocks. So how do you cope? You rummage through nature's junk drawer and accidentally invent getting high. The Stone Age is where the party starts, and it's a mix of dope and dope why. Dope because it's humanity's first buzz, and dope why because nobody was writing Yelp reviews like 5 stars. This leaf made me see my dead grandma. We've got hints, though cannabis seeds pop up in Asia around 8,100 BC. Were they smoking it? Maybe not. Could have been snacking on them, like paleo granola. But here's my take. Thog's out hunting, trips over a cannabis patch, and decides to cook it with his deer stew. Fire flares up, smoke hits his lungs, and bam, he's giggling like a hyena, telling Gronk, "Dude, I think that cloud's flirting with me." Gronk tries it, passes out, and wakes up claiming he's king of the rocks. First stoners? You decide. Then there's booze. And oh man, it's a train wreck. By 10,000 BC, the Natufians in the Middle East are brewing beer soup, a chunky, sour slop with floating barley, maybe some honey or crushed berries for pizzazz. Alcohol content? A sad 2.4%. Barely enough to slur, ooh, but plenty to make you forget the mammoth that just flattened your tent. Researchers say they grew grains just for this mess, not bread. Picture Thog's wife, Zira, screaming, "We're starving, and you're fermenting the wheat." Thog shrugs, "Babe, it's medicinal." She chucks a rock at him, misses, and accidentally invents dodgeball. Here's the funny bit. This beer soup doubles as a survival hack. Water back then was a swampy biohazard, so a little booze was like a caveman life straw. One tribe spikes it with bitter herbs, turning it into a knockout potion. My twist? They throw the great beer soup bash. Thog's clan gathers around a fire pit, passing a gourd of this sludge, one guy banging a mammoth skull drum, another belching the alphabet in grunts. Someone overdoes it, pukes in the fire, and the whole cave smells like burnt barley for a week. Zira bans parties, but Thog sneaks, sips behind a boulder, claiming it's for science. Over in North America, indigenous folks are throwing a rager of their own. Tobacco's their jam, chewing it, smoking it, snorting it like it's prehistoric pixie sticks. Side note, snorting tobacco sounds like a sinus hate crime, but they swore it slapped. Coca leaves? They're chewing them with lime all day, spitting green wads like MLB players. And the psychedelics? Oh, baby peyote, morning glory, datura, salvia, and 20-plus magic mushroom strains. You could trip over a bush and come back with enough shrooms to turn your tribe into a Grateful Dead cover band. Here's my wild spin. Zira, the tribe's shaman, invents the Stone Age shroom slam. She mixes coca, shrooms, and beer soup into a sacred brew for a full moon rite. The clan chugs it, and chaos erupts. Thog's dancing with a stick he calls Lady Twig. Gronk's wrestling a shadow, and Zira's chanting at the moon, claiming it's her ex. One guy eats too many shrooms, runs off screaming about a glowing elk, and starts a legend about the spirit stag. The next day, they're all hungover, blaming Zira's demon juice. She just smirks. Wait till you try next month's batch. Why'd they do it? To hunt better, heal aches, talk to ghosts, or just survive the soul-crushing boredom. The Stone Age was humanity's buzz boot camp, rough, raw, and ridiculous. The Copper Age, the Copper Cup craze, and the Psycho Squirrel Incident. Before we hit bronze, let's detour to the Copper Age, around 4500 BC. Humans are smelting shiny metal, trading like mad, and stumbling into new highs. Think of it as the Stone Age's awkward teen phase, still messy, but with better toys. Copper's the hot new thing, and some genius crafts the first copper cup. They're fermenting beer in these bad boys, and it's stronger, maybe 5–6%. Now because metal holds the brew better than clay. Tribes in Eastern Europe start a trend, the Copper Cup Challenge. You chug a full cup, slam it down, and grunt your loudest war cry. Winner gets bragging rights, loser pukes and cries. Picture a hairy dude named Vark, chugging away, slamming his cup, then belching so loud a flock of birds panics and flies into a tree. Vark's the champ until he trips over his own feet and faceplants into a campfire. Legend says his beard smoked for days. Then there's the Psycho Squirrel Incident. A tribe in the Balkans finds a nut, let's call it the zazzle nut, that squirrels go nuts for, pun intended. One day, a kid named Ludo eats a handful, chasing the squirrels, and bam, he's hallucinating hard. He claims the squirrels crowned him nut lord and taught him to climb trees backward. His dad tries it, sees a giant squirrel god, and starts a cult, the Order of the Zazzle. They brew zazzle nuts into a bitter tea, dance in circles, and scare off rival tribes with their deranged squirrel impressions. One raid goes wrong when a rival chief slips them extra nuts. Half the cult climbs a cliff, falls off, and blames the squirrel betrayal. The nuts banned, but whispers of its power linger. Copper Age folks also mess with early mead honey fermented goodness. It's sweet, sticky, and packs a punch. One trader, Drago, spikes his mead with crushed zazzle nuts and trades it across the Danube. Customers love it until they start seeing squirrels everywhere. Drago's chased out of town, screaming, "It's just business!" The Copper Age is short, sweet, and totally unhinged humans, proving they'll get high with anything shiny or nutty. The Bronze Age, opium cults, wine wars, and the Emperor's epic rager. Now we're in the Bronze Age, 3000 BC-ish. Humans are forging axes, building cities, and turning their buzz game pro. Stone Age tricks stick around, but new players, opium, wine, and Chinese herbal madness steal the spotlight. Opium's the star in Sumer. They're growing poppies near Baghdad, harvesting that golden juice at dawn, and calling it Gil, aka happiness, in a gooey blob. Clay tablets say it's for pain, rituals, or just chilling after a long day of goat herding. Picture a Sumerian merchant, Baz, passing a pipe in a dingy tavern. One puff turning him into a poet. The stars. They sing. My twist? Baz starts the Gil Syndicate, a secret club meeting in ziggurat basements. They sip opium tea from bronze chalices, claiming it shows them the afterlife. One night, a newbie overdoses, runs naked through the market yelling about flying demons, and accidentally invents Sumerian streaking. The priests ban him, but the syndicate grows, smuggling Gil and hollow statues. In Egypt, wine's the MVP. Peasants stomp grapes in vats. And pharaohs hoard it, some get buried with 700 jars, spiked with opium or herbs. Imagine a tomb robber, Kem, cracking one open, chugging it, and waking up surrounded by mummies, muttering, "I'm the new king," right? Wine's everywhere, farmers trade it, priests bless it, and festivals get wild. One harvest bash ends with a priest accidentally setting a granary on fire while drunk, claiming Ra demanded a barbecue. The next day, they sacrifice a goat to apologize and crack open more wine. Here's a Likai twist, the wine wars. Two Nile villages feud over a vineyard. Village A spikes their wine with opium, trades it to Village B, and attacks while they're zonked. Village B retaliates with a hallucinogenic brew, think datura laced vino, and village. A's warriors flee, screaming about crocodile gods. The vineyards torched, and both sides blame cursed grapes. Peace talks involve, you guessed it, more wine. In China, Emperor Shen Nong's a legend. Around 2600 BC, he's testing herbs like a mad alchemist tea for fevers, ephedra for stamina, cannabis for vibes. He nearly dies 70 times but keeps going. Tea's his masterpiece caffeine in a cup, keeping farmers buzzing. Ephedra? That's the Bronze Age speed, turning warriors into jittery killing machines. My spin? Shennong hosts the great herbal rager. Thousands flock to his palace tea tents. Opium pipes, ephedra shots flowing. One general downs too much ephedra, sprints across the Great Wall, and swears he fought a dragon. Another chugs tea and opium, invents kung fu moves mid-trip, and knocks himself out. Shennong just laughs. Next year, we add fireworks. Across the Americas, tobacco's a trade empire rolled, chewed, snorted. Coca's a daily grind, with shamans brewing psychedelic stews for vision quests. In Spain, 3,000-year-old hair tests positive for 3 mystery drugs. Imagine a Bronze Age DJ spinning tunes in a cave, high as a kite, while his crew paints trippy bison murals. Beer smoother now, some spiked with bark for an extra kick. The Bronze Age is humans saying, we're not just buzzed, we're artists at it. Chaos, cults, and epic ragers define the era. The Iron Age, weed devils, booze massacres, and the mushroom throne. Iron Age, 1200 BC-ish. Humans are forging swords, conquering lands, and turning highs into a science. Production's massive, records are crisp, and the buzz goes global. Cannabis is king. In Mesopotamia, tablets say it's for exorcising spirits, aka, I smoked too much and saw a ghost. In China, a herbal book warns overdoing it makes you see devils, but moderate use, you're chatting with ancestors and floating. Picture a farmer toking after plowing, muttering, Grandpa says hi. Opium's a Silk Road bestseller, traders swap it for gold, spreading the buzz like wildfire. Alcohol's the real beast. In 3 BC, Greece throws a drinking contest. 41 dudes die from poisoning. The winner grabs more wine, staggers home, and croaks 4 days later. My twist? It's the Dionysus Death Gauntlet, a cult ritual where warriors chug to prove they're immortal. Picture a shadowy priest, robes soaked in wine, chanting as contestants drop. The prize? A golden chalice said to grant eternal life. Spoiler, it's just a fancy cup, and the priests laughing all the way to the winery. Survivors start a bar fight, and the tavern burns down. Classic Greece. Rome's booze empire wine, cider, mead flows from monasteries. Plato says drinking's a character test. Get someone sloshed, and you'll see their soul. Persia's king weaponizes it, feasts the enemy with wine and lamb, then slaughters them mid-hangover. My spin? A Persian spy, Zara, invents the Trojan keg, a hollow barrel packed with opium-laced wine. She rolls it into an enemy camp, they party, and her army ambushes. One survivor staggers back, slurring, beware the keg. It's banned, but soldiers still whisper about it. In Guatemala, mushroom statues, 9 of them, honor underworld lords. A shaman, Zol, grinds shrooms on them, brews a potion, and trips so hard he claims he's the mushroom throne. He rules the tribe for a week, demanding sacrifices, until he sobers up and realizes he's been talking to a cactus. Coca's huge in South America. Ceramic dudes, mid-chew, look like they're flexing for Instagram. Funny twist. A Silk Road trader, Milo, mixes weed, opium, and mead into the caravan crusher. He sells it to nomads who love it until a caravan crashes into a dune, high as kites, singing about flying camels. Milo's banned, but his recipe's a legend. The Iron Age's peak buzz war, worship, and wild nights. The Crystal Age, crystal brews, sky visions, and the Salt Sage. Let's invent the Crystal Age 800 ad between iron and medieval. Humans are obsessed with shiny rocks, quartz, salt crystals, and they're about to get weird with them. Tribes in Central Asia discover crystal brew. They crush quartz into powder, mix it with fermented mare's milk, and swear it makes you see the sky talk. A warrior, Kale, chugs it before battle, claims the clouds cheer him on, and slaughters a rival tribe single-handedly. Word spreads, and soon every warlord's got a quartz stash. Funny bit? Kale's rival, Torv, sneaks salt crystals into the brew. Kale drinks it, pukes mid-fight, and loses his sword in a bush. Torv wins, laughing, tastes the rainbow, loser. Then there's the salt sage. A hermit in the Alps finds a salty spring, boils it with herbs, and drinks the sludge. He trips, sees a glowing goat god, and starts a pilgrimage. Followers chug his salt tears, claiming it cures sadness. One guy, Rolf, overdoes it, runs naked through a blizzard yelling, "I'm the goat now!" He freezes, and the sage shrugs. He found peace. The brew's banned after a village salts their fields by mistake, killing the crops. Crystal Age folks also mess with early vodka distilled in quartz vats. It's harsh, but potent. A trader spikes it with crushed gems, sells it as sky juice, and sparks a craze until buyers realize it's just shiny grit. The Crystal Age is short, sparkly, and hilariously unhinged. The medieval era, chocolate zealots, coffee crusaders, and plague Boozyapalooza, medieval era, 500 Adish. Castles, plagues, and highs galore. Old faves thrive, but new stars bring the madness. Cacao owns the Mayans, 250, 900 ad. They brew it bitter and frothy, scrawl it in scriptures, and worship it. My twist? The Cacao Zealots, a cult in feathered capes, chugging it during solstice rites. Leadershoe claims it summons jaguar spirits. One night, he overdoses, sprints into the jungle screaming, "I'm their king," and starts a myth about the cacao jaguar. His second in command, drunk on power and cacao, sacrifices a pig to appease the beast. The pig's owner riots, and the temple burns down. Oops. Coffee lands in 900 ad via a Persian dock. Monks guzzle it to pray through the night, brother. Cedric's shaking, muttering, "God's in the beans." By 1200, Marco Polo's hyping China's rice wine, spiced, strong, and better than grape wine. He challenges a Mongol, Batu, to a chug-off. Batu wins, Polo pukes, and Batu brags. West weak, rice strong, they're besties by dawn. Alcohol's king during the Black Death, 1300s. Docs prescribe distilled spirits, medieval vodka, as a cure. People chug it like it's penicillin, turning streets into a boozy palooza. Fiddlers play, drunks dance, rats laugh. My twist? An alchemist, Gregor, brews plague slayer vodka, opium, shrooms. Nobles love it, get wrecked, and start a black market frenzy. Gregor's caught, burned as a heretic, but his recipe lives on in tavern whispers. The Middle East bans weed and wine, death penalties fly, but smugglers thrive. A hash den's raided, the owner escapes dressed as a goat, and the guard's like, "Did I just bust a barnyard?" Medieval's a fever dream, chocolate zealots, coffee crusaders, and plague shots. The early modern era, coffee empires, tobacco titans, and the gin rebellion, early modern era, 1400s, 1700s. Printing presses, galleons, and highs go global. No new drugs. But the classics get epic. Turkey's first coffee shop opens in 1475, medieval hipsters sipping sludge. Europe prints booze guides. And cacao hits Spain in 1585 as a drink. Tobacco explodes, indigenous Americans teach Euros to smoke, and it's a pandemic. Spanish friars call it Satan's leaf, but the French and English ship it worldwide. Plague docs say it's a cure. Pope Clement tries coffee, decrees it Christian, and yoinks it from Muslim traders, smirking, "Mine now, suckers." Prohibitions flop, coffee's banned in Mecca briefly. Tobacco's outlawed in Russia. The London gin craze, 1700s, is peak chaos. Cheap gin floods England. Poor folks stay sloshed, and the elite cry society's doomed. My twist? Gin dens birth the gin rebellion. Smugglers and poets plot in the haze, sipping Dutch courage. One night, a drunk bard, Pip, stabs a guard with a gin bottle, sparking riots. Pip's hanged, but his ballad "Gin Flows Free" lives on. Coffee and cigs rule. Boston's 1676 coffee house is a pirate front. Dutch soldiers sling gin in war. A trader spikes tobacco with opium, sells it as dragon smoke, and sparks a craze until buyers cough blood and ban him. Early modern's a buzz empire, gritty, glorious, and gone wild. The Neon Age, glow drinks, electric roots, and the buzz bandits. Let's invent the Neon Age 1850s, 1900s. Post-industrial vibes. Electricity's new, and humans get weird with it. Factories churn out glow drinks, booze infused with phosphorescent algae, glowing green under gas lamps. A London bar, the Luminous Mule, serves it to ravers. One night, drunkard Jem chugs 3, glows like a lantern, and stumbles into the Thames, sparking a glowing ghost myth. Cops raid the bar, but the recipe escapes, still sold in alleys today. Then there's electric root. Miners in Wales find a root that zaps your tongue mixed with gin. It's a jolt and a buzz. A miner, overdoses, runs through town yelling, "I'm a thunder god!" and fries his beard on a lamppost. His gang, the Buzz Bandits, sell it to sailors, who love it until a ship's crew gets too zapped, crashes into a dock, and blames Dye's devil juice. Opium's refined into morphine, codeine docs overprescribe, and addicts swarm. A quack, Dr. Sparks, wires patients to batteries while dosing them, claiming it cures the soul. One guy, Tom, breaks free mid-shock, high as hell, and starts a brawl that torches the clinic. Neon Age is bright, bold, and bonkers. The modern era, pharma frenzy, corporate kings, and the EternaHigh, modern era, 1900s now. Industry turns plants into pills, LSD, 1930s, oxycodone, 1910s, meth in Japan, 1940s. Companies rule, Folgers, 1850, Miller, 1855, Coca-Cola, 1886. Prohibition flops, China kills opium smokers, US bans booze, 1920s. Doesn't stop squat. Today, weed's legal, craft beer's endless, synthetics are sketchy. My twist? A 1940s lab crafts EternaHigh shrooms, opium, gin, distilled into a silver syrup. Test subjects vanish, reappear weeks later, claiming they lived a lifetime. It leaks, becomes a dark web holy grail, rumor says. One dose still buzzes somewhere in Nevada. From beer soup to lab dope, humans don't just get high, we rewrite reality doing it. Want more? I've got crazier coming.